Hi, boys and girls. How are you on this rainy Monday? I'm pretty sure you're in the house trying to find something to do, fun to do. Well, today, I'm going to read you a story. And the story is called Amari's Shining Moment. And it's by Rollins Center of Language and Literacy at the Atlanta Speech School, illustrated by John Floyd Jr. And before we get started reading this book, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Look, Amari, she has a new friend right here. And I bet they enjoy spending time together. I wonder what kind of adventure they will have. So we're going to see what kind of adventure, boys and girls, that they're going to have today. Amari, where are you off to? Asked Mama. I'm going next door to Andrea's house to figure out what we're doing today. You know we do something together every Saturday, Amari said as she rushed out the door. Andrea's grandmother opened the door. Amari, you are up and about early, she exclaimed. Boys and girls, I'm thinking about that. Amari is so excited that it's finally Saturday. Do you be excited when it's Saturday? Miss Terry's excited when it's the weekend. So, Amari got up real early. Miss Terry likes to sleep late on Saturdays. But she got up real early and immediately rushed over to Andrea's house. But we're going to keep reading and find out why. Why was she in such a hurry to get to Andrea's house? So let's keep reading. Andrea ran to greet Amari. What do you want to do today? Asked Amari. Are we going to the library like we usually do? Well, grandmother wants to take us somewhere special, replied Andres. Grandmother smiled. I will call your mom and invite your family. Where are we going? Where are we going? Amari asked excitedly. You'll have to wait and see. We'll leave in an hour, so go home and get prepared for our adventure, encouraged grandmother. So I'm excited too, boys and girls. I'm excited. Where are they going? Where are they going? You have any idea where they could be going? They're really excited. Really, really excited. Amari races through the front door, excited to share the news with Mama and Will. Mama and Will, grandmother is taking us somewhere special, gasped Amari. We're already... No, chuckled Mama. Go grab your backpack and I will throw your sunscreen and hat in. So, it looks like grandmother called ahead and Amari's mother is packing up her stuff to go. And that's her brother Will right there. So, you got any ideas from the clues that the mother is packing? Where they're going? I have no idea neither, boys and girls. No idea. Let's keep reading. Grandmother backed out of the garage, and Amari and Andreas ran hurriedly to the van. Amari and Andreas were anxious to know where they were going. When grandmother pulled the van into a parking space, Andreas and Amari recognized where they were. Piedmont Park. Andreas shouted, "There are so many people. What's going on here?" asked Amari. "It's an event called the Dogwood Festival that takes place every spring," explains grandmother. So they are so excited, boys and girls, about the destination. And it sounds like there is a festival or a special event happening. So we're going to see why grandmother picked this festival to bring the kids. So let's keep reading. Amari and Andreas' eyes grew wide as they looked at the different sights in amazement. They saw booths full of art, food, trucks with yummy smells waving out to them. Musicians playing a variety of instruments and dogs running after frisbees in a special tournament. So as you can see, boys and girls, they got a lot of different things going on at this festival. Plenty of things for them to have fun. Plenty of things to do. There are just so many things to see, Amari said to Andreas. Amari pulled up on Will's arm as he read the festival program and map. "Amari, there's a kids' village," Will explained. "What happens there?" asked Amari. "Well, there's a special performance of the play, The Shoemaker and the Elves, that starts in 10 minutes. Let's check it out." So now they're about to go check out a play. So, boys and girls, let's keep reading. They found the seats in the crowded grass in front of the outdoor stage. "Mama, what's a play?" asked Amari. "A play is when people act out a story for others to enjoy," she answered. Andreas glanced around. There were so many people filling the park. It sure takes a lot of courage to perform in front of this many people. I would be so nervous on stage, he thought. I see Andreas is thinking about how it would feel to perform on stage. He thinks it's pretty frightening. What you think, boys and girls? Would you be frightened, scared to perform in front of your family and friends and people, even people you don't know? How would you feel? But we're going to see how they come out. So let's keep reading. After the play, Amari was full of questions. "Mama, have you ever been in a play? How did they make those costumes? How could they talk loud enough for everyone to hear? How could they remember what to say?" Mama laughed. "Hold on, Amari. I can only answer one question at a time." As her dad took her into bed that night, Amari lay thinking about how brave the actress has been. "Amari, Mama told me you saw The Shoemaker and the Elves today. We have a copy of that book, so I thought we could read it," Dad said. He pulled out a wonderful book. He pulled a colorful book off the top of the shelf of Amari's bookcase. Now, sometimes we can see a play that came from a book or sometimes even a movie, but they said there's nothing like reading it for yourself. So let's see what happens next. Let's keep reading. The next morning, Amari skipped next door to show Andres how her dad had found. Look, it's the shoemaker and the L's. Just like we saw at P-More Park. Andres flipped through the pages, admiring the illustration and recognizing familiar scenes. Amari had an idea. What if we put on a play? Exclaimed Amari. We could use the book to help us remember what happened. I could never perform in front of people. I would be so nervous, Amari said. Andres admitted. As Amari kept explaining the idea, it did sound fun. Andres agreed to help put on the play. Now, do you remember, boys and girls, when they was watching the play in the park and how he imagined he would be pretty nervous if he was to perform in front of a crowd? Now that Amari wants to put on the play, I doubt that Andres wants to do it. Let's read and find out what happens. So let's see if they're going to really go through with it. Amari ran home to tell her family about the idea. Will, can you help us construct a stage like the one we saw at the Dogwood Festival? Sure. Meet me in the backyard, he said. Will arrived in the backyard with an armful of wood, a hammer, a nail. Look, I found these strings of light in the garage. We could hang them up above our stage, said Amari. I was thinking we could use this book to make our backdrop. Andres, once we make the stage, then you can paint it. Amari's dad added. So they're getting it all together, boys and girls, over here in this picture. They're getting the stage ready. Andres bit his lip and sighed as he hung the lights up on the stage. Are you okay, Andres? Asked Amari. Andres shrugged his shoulders and continued to string the lights on the stage. All week, Amari and Andres continued to prepare for the big day. On Friday afternoon, they finished the stage and picked out old shoes and tools to be the props. Mama helped them design costumes. Everything was ready. So you think Andres might be thinking about performing in front of the neighbors? How you think he's feeling? And why he looks, look at his face, he looks sad. That night, Amari had dinner at Andres' grandmother's house. And Amari noticed Andres was usually quiet. Aren't you excited about tomorrow, Andres? Andres' lip trembled. I'm excited, but I'm scared to be in front of a crowd, Andres explained. Grandmother came around the table and gave Andres a big hug. It's okay, Andres. Even the best performers get a little nervous before a big performance. It's called stage fright. I would always get nervous before I sang in front of people. Amari looked up at grandmother. You sang in front of people? She asked. Absolutely. I love to sing. I was part of many singing groups. Grandmother explained. I always say that what makes you feel more confident is practice, practice, practice. So let's practice. So boys and girls, whenever you're going to do a play or you sing in front of somebody, you got to practice, practice, practice. Andres arrived to pretend the audience on the living room floor. Amari giggled. That's not a real crowd, Andres. Well, we will have to use our imaginations. Amari and Andres practiced the shoemaker and the elves over and over again for grandmother and their imaginary audience. The next morning, they set up chairs and blankets just before the large crowd gathering. Will stood behind the curtains with Amari and Andres and helped them into their costumes. Andres peeked from behind the curtain and strutted. Remember that we have had plenty of practice and you know what to do, Andres, Amari encouraged. So Amari is encouraging her friend that it's okay. They're going to make it through. Will hugged Andres and said, do you want to know what I do when I get nervous? Andres nodded his head. I do star jumps to remind me that I am a star. I can do anything I put my mind to. As we jumped into the air, he shouted, I am a star. At the same time, he reached his arm out wide above his head and kicked out his legs. Andres and Amari laughed. Will looked so silly. Now you try. Encouraged Will. Andres began to jump into the air over and over again, shouting, I am a star. I am a star. All laughing made him feel better. Ready, said Amari. So remember, boys and girls, when you get nervous, just reach your hands up in the air and say, I am a star. I am a star. Will hugged Andres and said, do you want to know? Oh, I'm sorry, boys and girls. Ready, said Andres. They took a deep breath as Will pulled back their curtains. The play began. At last, they were performing like actors in Piedmont Park. When the play was complete, the crowd went wild. Andres and Amari beamed. They had performed courageously, even though it was scary being in front of the big crowd. Maybe one day they would even perform at the Dogwood Festival. So they did a great job, boys and girls. They was very courageous and to overcome their fear and to perform in front of a crowd. The next Saturday morning, Andre and Amari returned to the library. When they left, their arms were so full of books they could barely carry them. When they got home, they spread the books out on grandmother's living room floor, and Amari looked at her friend. What book should we act out next? So they're ready to go on the next adventure for the next story. So what book do you think they should act out next? Maybe they should do a Pete the Cat book. What you think, boys and girls? Let me know. That's the end of our story.